Going?
Hey Mike, how's it going?
Oh, good, man. How's everything?
Pretty good, pretty good. So first question to kick us off is, how's quarantine life going for you right now?
Man, it's going good, actually. I'm able to do a lot of, or get a lot of things done that I've been pushing off. But, I've been back to training fully and looking to hopefully fight soon. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and are you looking to get maybe like a short notice fight, or what's the deal with that?
Nah, maybe not short notice. I definitely want to get a full camp in. Uh, we've I've been training with some of my buddies, pro fighters. Shane Burgos just got announced that he's fighting, and so did Lyman Good. So we've been training with all them and helping them get ready for their fights. So I've had a couple setbacks. I started training like 2 weeks ago, and I sprained my ankle, so I couldn't walk for like a couple days. So
Hmm.
so as soon as I get back, I mess myself up. So I'm back training again though. So I'm good. I'm healthy, and just trying to get back on the grind, man.
Yeah, that's great, man. And I've noticed that it's been almost a year since your last fight against Grant Dawson. Is there any reason for taking like a year off? Was it like injuries? Was it something
Yeah, man.
else?
I had a lingering injury that was just I was dealing with for a while. I fought a few times with it, and it just kind of hit a point where I was only training at about 50%, and so as soon as I after the fight, I like 2 weeks later I got knee surgery, and then I was out for a while. So.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask about the Ultimate Fighter. Obviously your season was focused on undefeated fighters, and a lot of the guys that went on the show, like Luis Pena, who you took, I believe you took his undefeated record from him. But going into the Grant Dawson fight, that was the first fight that you lost. What are some things that you learned about that, and how did it feel like? Did you feel like it taught you a lesson in getting that first loss?
Absolutely. I think it was necessary. It kind of woke me up a little bit, and which is why it pushed me to want to get my knee surgery done. It, it it's just like I'm at the highest level of fighting and competition, so I can't take it lightly. I can't do it at 50%. It's got to be all or nothing. So, I definitely learned a lot from it. You always learn more from your fight from your losses than you do your wins. So, it was a good lesson, and I look forward to unlocking a new version of myself. So I'm excited to get back in there.
Hmm. And how has the UFC run been for you since you won the Ultimate Fighter?
I mean, it's been great. I mean, besides the loss, I mean, won the Ultimate Fighter, beat Luis on in Denver in 2018, and
Hmm.
then I had my one speed bump in the road. But hey, I mean, look at the best in the world. They got three, four, five, six losses. So, I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm still young. I'm still early in my career, man, and I'm just getting started.
Yeah, and do you think we see maybe a summer return from you? Like, I know that you probably won't take a short notice fight, but do you like looking at your division right now? Is there any guys that look like a good fight for you, or do you think you just might wait until the fall to get a fight?
No, I mean, I definitely want to try and fight this summer. I was actually supposed to get married in July, and we had to reschedule the wedding because of all the quarantine going on and stuff. So that kind of actually frees up a lot of time for me to just really just stick my head down and just grind and focus on just fighting. So, I mean, it was stressful. It sucks that it's not happening this year, but, it's kind of almost like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel you on that, man. I'd like just to for like newlywed or people who are gonna get married, I really feel for you in that aspect because I mean it must be like really stressful to maybe push back the day until the fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you get a fight soon.
Yeah, I mean, it was stressful just trying to like see what was going to happen. I mean, everybody kept telling us, "Oh, another 30 days, another 30 days." Like, you never know. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's in the same boat as we are. The government doesn't even know what the hell's going on. So, honestly, we were just like, you know what, screw it. Let's push it back. It'll take a load off off, and we could just focus on other things, you know, and that's what we did.
Yeah. And like, how has your routine been? Like, has your gym reopened back up
So
this maybe like recently?
yeah, but limited. So it's just the guys that got fights coming up, the pros and everything, and so we don't have like huge amounts of people in there, obviously, but just the people that have fights coming up or are looking to get fights. Everybody, those are the people that are training. So it's good to get back on the regular routine and be able to work out more than just running and doing things around the house.
Hmm. And I've recently interviewed your like fellow contestants Joe Giannetti and Jay Cuccinello, and I wanted to ask about your other uh, contestants, Brad Katonah. You know, he got released from the UFC earlier this year. How do you feel about that? You know, after just two losses for him to be released.
I mean, it's shocking, you know, but at the same time, it's like, all right, they're not messing around. Got to put on a show and win. Obviously, you know that's always the the main goal. So, you know,
Hmm.
you can never know. I mean, MMA is so unpredictable. So that's why I'm excited that I can just focus on just fighting and not worry about it right now, and really put 150% into what I'm trying to do, and that way, if I win, great. If I lose, well, at least if I'm gonna lose, it's gonna be because I gave 100% and that was it. That's just the luck of the draw, you know. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to lose back to back. That's for sure. Is it added pressure? Maybe, but it's all how you look at it. You know, there's pressure regardless of winning or losing. So I just want to get in,
Yeah.
perform, and test myself. So
Uh-huh. And looking at the your contestants I've interviewed, Jay Cuccinello and Joe Giannetti, like, do you feel like they made it to the finals, the finale, you know, of the Ultimate Fighter? Do you think they might have been deserving of a shot in the UFC? And or why do you think Dana didn't sign guys like that?
yeah, I mean, they gave opportunities to guys that didn't make it to the finale. So I don't see why like guys that made it to the actual finale wouldn't get an extra shot. I don't know. I don't know the logistics, man. So you know, you can never know. Sometimes it's a mystery, but I definitely do think that they both could have had another opportunity to prove themselves. So I don't. Again, you don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. And I want to look back at like the coaches that you had on the Ultimate Fighter. You have Stipe and DC. You know, DC wants Stipe to get stripped of the title because Stipe is a first responder, and you know he's using that as a way to maybe postpone the fight. But what do you think of that situation? And do you think the trilogy happens, and who wins that fight?
Honestly, they both won by finishes, so it could go either way.
Hmm.
But when it comes to the fight happening, I Stipe's been working his ass off as a first responder, you know, dealing with all that on top of, you know, his gym can't open. You know, every state is kind of different. You know, I'm in Jersey, the New Jersey, New York area. We kind of got hit the hardest out of anybody in the entire country. So, you know, it's a lot more strict than let's say Florida, which is everything's open down there. Like the South is starting to open up more. Like, you know, you just never know, and everybody's in different situations. And unfortunately, he's kind of stuck doing all that and dealing with the craziness. And you know, look, it's nobody's fault. You know, no, it's nobody's fault that
Yeah.
there was a pandemic. You know, you can't plan for that. Plus, he also, I'm pretty sure he had like eye surgery or something, so he's still recovering from that. And you don't want to mess with that. You only got two eyes, so. But I mean, they'll fight eventually.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And looking at the Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter, there's a question of, you know, which one is better. If you had to go back in time and you had to choose between the two on how you wanted to get into the UFC, which one do you think is more effective, and which one would you personally choose, you know, to get into the UFC?
Man, the Contender Series is easy. It's one fight. It's one fight, and you're not in prison for the entire time. Like we had no contact with anybody for 6 weeks, and you fight multiple times within that 6 weeks. Like I fought twice in 8 days. So it all depends. It's definitely the Ultimate Fighter is definitely a harder mental test for sure.
Hmm.
Um, Contender Series is just one fight, man. I mean, that's it. One fight. You got to be exciting. You got to just go out there and try and finish the person. That's it. It's one and done. It's black and white, but the Ultimate Fighter is a lot more in depth. So if I had to redo it, Contender Series, without a
Yeah.
doubt. It's easy. I could train. I could train with my team. I could be home. I could see people. I could talk to people.
And we've recently interviewed like a lot of TUF alumni. Macy Chasson. She said that her experience on TUF was kind of bad. She didn't really like it. Jillian Robertson said that it was really good, but it was really bad as well. Um, how would you say that your experience on TUF was? Do you think it was overall really good or overall like really bad?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's an opportunity, man, and regardless of what comes up, if you're looking to get in the UFC, you take any opportunity you possibly can. I had this opportunity, so I took it. Was it tough? Yeah. Was it enjoyable? Yes and no. There's pros and cons to everything. And I went in there like a sponge, man. I just wanted to learn and just
Hmm.
gain as much knowledge from all these veterans in the game as possible, and just take it back home and improve on myself. So I mean, I thought it was a great experience, and would I recommend it for anyone else? Absolutely. But if you have the choice to do the Ultimate Fighter or the Contender Series is definitely the easier route. But I mean, I wouldn't say no right away to the Ultimate Fighter. It's a cool experience, and now that there's fights with no fans, it's kind of like a prerequisite almost. We're used to fighting with no people, so
Yeah.
you don't get. It's hard to get used to it being quiet.
Hmm. And last question I had for you, I didn't want to take much of your time, but your nickname's a Lone Wolf, and I wanted to ask if there's any like origin to you getting that nickname.
Man, I honestly just that's what I'm a lone wolf in the cage. I got a big
Hmm.
family. I got a lot of friends, huge following. But when it comes to being in the cage, you got to fend for yourself, and you got to survive and adapt and overcome tough challenges, situations right on the fly, and that's what a lone wolf's got to do. So that's what I am.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate your time and doing this interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Just let me know next time you want me on.
Sounds good. Sounds
All
good.
right,
Thanks, man.
all right. Have